TVCRE, your choice for commercial real estate insights in the Treasure Valley.
This is the TVCRE podcast that Tayler and I have been talking about for multiple months now in a row, and we wanted to just come to Boise and the Treasure Valley and probably throughout the nation now with how hot Boise is, and talk about what's going on in commercial real estate in the valley, right?
Yeah, I mean, we both see the commercial real estate industry from different angles, so I feel like we have some unique viewpoints to contribute, and then it's not just us here. We want to have, other players in the valley, other guests, and be able to share insights and information with you and really learn together.
Yeah, so we're going to have a variety of guests on the show. Maybe a sneak peek for our week one guest. If you want to know who that is, it's going to be a GP partner in some multifamily deals. Do you want to reveal who it is?
Yeah, he's wheeling and dealing. He's making a big splash. So our buddy Graye Parnell, with Graye Capital Partners.
So he'll be on next week. So if you want to know how multifamily is trading at around a 3 cap, financially how that makes sense, and what buyers are in the market, we're happy to kind of bring him on to kind of talk us through that.
Yeah, no, he'll talk about that as well as a lot of other things. His memory is a steel trap when it comes to multifamily. Just a really gifted individual for analysis, and has really dedicated his professional life to understanding that, doing big things.
Yeah, smart young man, and also has good character. He's done some cool things with flying into rural locations to help people with healthcare, and so maybe we'll even get him to talk about that a little bit.
I bet we will for sure.
Story.
Yeah.
So talking about stories and about people, what's your angle and where'd you come from? How does this all work for you?
Yeah, I think we all kind of have a winding road. Maybe it wasn't always the plan for where we're going to end up, but I ended up in commercial title and escrow. My background is in law. Before that, I grew up in a small town in Salmon, Idaho. My dad was a large animal veterinarian, and built fence through high school, framed houses in college. But eventually, decided that I wanted to become an attorney, and after a few years of practice, kind of realized that my skill set and my desire was really to work with people more and to be, building things. As an attorney, oftentimes you're dealing with things kind of falling apart. And so I fell into title, didn't have a great understanding of what it was at the time, but had an interest in learning, and a boss who saw something in me and gave me a shot. And so that was 2015. Opened up the commercial title and escrow department at Next Title at the time. We now operate as Empire Title, but it's been a good run and seeing a lot of growth, and been a great opportunity for us and our team to be able to grow along with the Valley. I've been fortunate to work on some large transactions, and it's cool to kind of look back at where we started, where we are now, and I've definitely been blessed with a lot of opportunities to learn along the way. A lot of great customers, a lot of great companies to work with.
So you've seen a lot of deals, and you've got to see it from a lot of different angles, right? From a legal position, from a buyer standpoint, from a seller standpoint, from a title position, from understanding the dynamics of land to the person to the funding.
Yeah, that's what's fun about being I serve primarily as an escrow officer on our commercial transactions, and really you're helping everybody communicate with each other, and so you're able to meet everybody that's involved with the transaction, but you're also not. You're not calling the shots, you're just helping people communicate with each other. And so it's a really interesting, objective way to learn about commercial real estate, because you're catching everybody's angles and just helping everybody follow instructions and bring the deal together. We see single family investment properties still sometimes come up on the commercial side, but also mobile home parks where you're taking the mobile home titles down to the DMV and prepaying property taxes before they'll take those, all the way up to super large scale multifamily deals that our valley maybe hadn't historically seen regularly, and now we're seeing all the time. It kind of runs the gamut.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's exciting. Well, you're going to be a great host.
Well, we'll see. Time will tell.
I'm going to watch you talk a lot of the time. It's going to be great.
Oh, man. But no, it's been a great run, and it has given me opportunities to meet folks like yourself, Drey. I mean, you're seeing the market from a little bit of a different angle. Maybe let us know how you got into it.
Yeah. As you know, you came from a very unique background. Mine might be competitive with that.
Yeah, maybe more unique, right? A little non-traditional.
Yeah, raised in Nampa, went to College of Idaho, was going to go to Pepperdine, wanted to go down there and study neuropsychology.
Oh, I thought you were going to say study surfing.
No, I was going to study neuropsychology, and wanted to stay kind of close to home, was kind of a mama's boy, so wanted to be close to home. and went to the College of Idaho. And when I was there, I really liked business, right? I fell into business, and I loved the brand Nike. I like it so much that I do have a Nike swoosh tattoo somewhere on my body that I got when I was 17. So
That's
a little
gonna be
bit of shame.
So we're going to have the regular version of the podcast and then the uncut version of the podcast.
That might be uncut. But that swoosh is somewhere. I hope I'm not their property now. But I went there and I was like, I'm going to become a marketer for Nike. I'm going to go get my MBA, started out in the MBA program, and then took a psychology class from this guy named Professor Thur. And the guy was just so unique and so weird. And then had some kind of battles in my family that we were dealing with. And I was like, well, I'm going to study psychology to understand what's going on. Took psychology classes, and I was like, well, business sounds boring compared to psychology, even though I love numbers and sales. And so went and did that, and went and got a master's degree in social work, because that was what you did after you got a degree in psychology, because there wasn't a lot of jobs. And ended up being a therapist and working with kids with intellectual and physical disabilities for a while, and then was offered a teaching position with Northwest Nazarene University. Really enjoyed that, right? Like going and teaching students and trying to help change the world and learning about people the whole time and understanding society and people and why we function the way we do. And that entire time, I also had side sales jobs, and whether it was
hustling.
eBay,
Still channeling that entrepreneurial interest.
Foot Locker, Sunglass Hut, and then my own stuff, right? Like yard selling for fun, and just learning how to do sales. I have like this sales itch. And so that the last transition, when I went through a kind of a life change moment, I said, why am I doing the things that I should be doing?
Right, the conventional wisdom.
What I want to do. And I liked real estate investing, and I enjoyed real estate, and I met with a guy named Brian Rollins, and he said, why don't you check out commercial real estate? And I said, sure, I'll check it out.
Yeah, that was the start.
Gave it a shot, and man, it's never looked back. It's just people and psychology and sales and development in this valley. Being a 2C, proud to be 2C guy, I'd say, because growing up in Nampa, I love watching our valley change and all the stuff, and getting to be a part of the transactions that are forming and shaping our valley and the players here. It's been exciting. So yeah, that's my role, and obviously now I get to be a part of the transactions and get to watch what happens from the role of a broker, and being a part of the brokerage community. So I think we both have a different angle where we can get an all-encompassing view of what's going on in the valley with commercial real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you bring a great viewpoint that will definitely add value to our listeners and to ourselves. And then, like we talked about, it's not just us. We're going to have those guests in here and be able to hopefully play off some of our different angles to ask the right questions and really try to explore some of the things that are going on, whether that's current stuff or understanding deals that have happened, and maybe talking about maybe some more controversial subjects about how our valley can grow in the right way. We're not going to delve too deep into the politics probably, but it kind of winds its way in sometimes. Yeah.
We'll talk about issues, I think, that are on the mind of people who are here, people who have come here, also people who have grown up here, and just with the development and the growth of the area, I think there's a lot to talk about in regards to different lending practices, different deal structures, when it comes to development of exciting, fun things, maybe sports teams, who knows? We don't know where this is going to be in 10 years. Where's Boise going to be in 10 years?
That's right, yeah.
Whoever thought Nampa, Caldwell, Boise, and the surrounding area would be where they're at now, even 6 years ago.
Right. No, it's absolutely blown up, and it's an exciting time. Just kind of along for the ride almost.
Yeah, it's exciting. So we hope that you guys all get to come in and tune in. And Tayler and I would say that Taylor's one of the most relational people I know.
Oh, thanks,
so our goal is to make this a relational podcast and a relational ability for you to be able to say, hey, those are just two guys talking about the valley I live in, or the valley I want to live in and invest in, and we want to be a part of that.
That's right.
We just want to help bring you news and bring you value, and that's our goal.
Yeah, and we'd love or listener questions, talking to us about things that you want to hear about, things that you're wondering about, or maybe guest suggestions too, or if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast. We can't make any promises, but would love to try to get as many people on here as we can. I think initially the game plan is to try to do about one a month, and then hopefully we can pick up steam and get better at this process and maybe do a few more, but at least want to deliver 12 podcasts in the next year, right?
Yeah, that's the goal. And if you guys really like it and really share it and really love it, we'll try to get 2 a month and then 3 a month.
That's
and
right.
Who knows where it goes. But as long as we're continue to give you guys good content that provides value to you, and that's our goal.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. One thing that maybe we can kind of wrap up with, what's something interesting that maybe you've seen either since the pandemic to now, or within the last few months? I mean, either an interesting transaction or an interesting trend. What's something that you think might be something our listeners would be interested in hearing?
Yeah, it's interesting, right, to see the real, very, very real desire to get into industrial space. With the pandemic happening and forcing a lot of retailers and people not being able to go out, and actually forcing a lot of retailers to move to online sales and more of a distribution style sales model, we've seen a lot of the warehousing get absorbed.
Tons.
And so groups like Adler, whom we hope we can get probably a representative on for our show, can talk about it more. But there's been such an absorption of the industrial warehouse space and flex space in the last year and a half that we're out. It's out of it. And there's a lot being produced right now, and it'll be interesting to see, and we can talk about that probably over a couple shows, what the trends will be on how fast that gets filled and if there's still a need for it. Obviously, we know that there's data centers, and with the big release about Meta now coming here, for us old guys, it's Facebook, coming to CUNA, and what role that could have, and that's something we would have never thought about. But there's a need for these this warehousing industrial style product.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I was at a conference this past week, and there was a CoStar economic person that was talking about some of the trends that they're seeing nationwide, and the lack of industrial and in particular warehousing inventory is an issue nationwide too. And really our economy and the supply chain shifting a little bit, I think, and we're seeing that impacting that silo of the real estate industry. So it bears out in our market as well as nationally.
Well, who would have ever predicted in our lives that we would have had a year where we needed to stay inside and stay 6 feet away from people, and that people wouldn't be out shopping and eating at restaurants. So there's a natural fall of events after that. And
we'll see. We'll see how long those trends carry out, but definitely a real thing. Something interesting that we've seen that's kind of related to that is the growth of the remote online notary platform. So it's kind of a nerdy escrow thing. I mean, I think most people are like, however we need to sign docs is fine, but there's a way now where you can notarize documents through online video technology, and someone can be on the other side of the world as long as they have a driver's license that's issued by a state or a United States issued passport. And we can notarize those docs, we can record them with the county, and those have been used significantly on seller side and on non-lending, so cash transactions. The interesting point is lenders are still having a hard time going forward with the remote online notary transactions because they want wet signatures on their note. And is usually a condition of being able to package up those notes and sell them, as security. So that's kind of the last adoption that needs to take place before remote online notary kind of becomes a more standard thing. But from the title and escrow world, that's grown a ton. I've probably done 100 of those closings that have had a remote online notary involved at some level. And for someone who's sick with COVID or just sick or on vacation or for whatever reason unavailable, it's kept some transactions moving along at a good pace and is much more secure than DocuSign, right?
Yeah.
And DocuSign's getting used by a lot of folks on transaction documents.
Well, we hope that you liked this first episode. I know it's kind of just maybe the tip of the iceberg, but we're excited to be able to come to you, and our next episode will be full of probably a lot of really good information that goes over a lot of people's heads, but there will be nuggets in there that Graye can help break down for us and understanding. And we look forward to bringing that to you.
Yeah, he's a good teacher and a good person. So excited to have him on the show, and just excited to get this thing rolling. It's going to be a great time, and just want to be consistent and bring good information and take feedback and have fun.
So and if you guys didn't hear that again, it's the TVCRE podcast. And if you want to like us, follow us, share us, we'd be appreciative of that as well.
Yeah. Yep. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.